Would I trade my FX6 for an FX5? Let's dive in. The FX5 is a highly anticipated camera that's been on everyone's mind ever since there was a leak about last month. Many videographers and DPs have contemplated about selling their FX3s and buying the new FX5. Now with the official announcement released this week, there have been a flood of pre-orders and the community seems to be divided about it. I bought this FX6 behind me in July of 2024, and I bought it off of Facebook Marketplace from another videographer who does a lot of concerts, and he sold it to me at a chase for $5,000. And ever since then, I've shot quite a bit of projects on it.
Bonnie?
You're awake.
This has everything that a streamer could ever want or need. It has the ability to show you all of your active connections.
My name is Jetri Hampton. I've been fighting for about 4 years now.
The FX6 released in 2020 at a price of almost $6,000. Today, a brand new one will cost you over $7,000 with the new price increases. The FX5 will release at $4,900 with the body and $5,500 with the handle. We've got a 10.2 megapixel sensor versus the 16.6 megapixel stack sensor, dual base ISO versus triple base ISO, 5K open gate and 4K 240 FPS with the future firmware update in 2027. The list goes on. If you want to check out more details about the camera, there are many videos on its capabilities already. Even with all of the improvements, the FX6 is still a very capable camera, and the best thing about it is the internal variable ND, which neither the FX3 or the FX5 have. The camera isn't limited by HDMI, it has SDI, which is widely used in bigger productions, and it has a timecode BNC input for when you want to do in sync timecode. Now, while the FX3 and the FX5 have IBIS, it's actually something that I don't really need. There's a lot of things that I love about this camera, and then obviously there's a few things that I dislike or I wish was on this, either on this camera or if they ever release the FX6 Mark II. One is, everyone can agree with, is that this mic mount is not very good at all. It's pretty flimsy and I feel like it's gonna go out at any day, even just looking at it right now, how much it's bending. I'm probably gonna need to do the upgrade for it that everyone does with the Rycote mount. And then 3 other things. This camera is full frame, and so you're pretty much limited to full frame lenses. And what that means is that selection is not only more limited, I mean, there are more lenses coming out, but they're also more expensive. And so getting into bigger lens sets, there's kind of a barrier of entry to that. And so you're really only left with renting, which is fine. There's plenty of other options to use too. And the camera, it can go into Super 35 mode, but it's limited to being at 1080p. And it's another thing that I really wanted for the next camera, or in this camera, or the Mark II, is a Super 35 mode, but in 4K. To be able to get that much bigger lens selection that Super 35 offers. And not only that, the lenses for Super 35 are way cheaper than the ones for full frame. And then the last thing is, which isn't really something that's really needed for this camera. It's not something that I've never really noticed, but I wish it had global shutter just to have it. The Komodo has it, and so I just feel like it would be cool if in the next generation of this camera, if it could have global shutter as well. This is pretty much how it goes out every time I'm on a shoot, typically. Sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes it's a little bit more. Sometimes I'll have this Shinobi 5-inch monitor on the top right here. But I don't really prefer that a lot of the times because I've kind of learned to trust the monitor and the waveforms on the here. What I like more is having more battery life, and the monitor up there, it kind of eats up a lot of the life out of the battery. And without that monitor, the camera lasts for about 4 hours or more. So that's why I have it like this right now, with just having the monitor on the side right here. And then I have like different cable management accessories on the side, on the left and right. And then typically I'll have this XLR, this short one, connected all the time. It's been pretty useful to have it already connected, especially when I need to connect this camera to a boom pole and I don't have to worry about like trying to fit it through this small space. I can just grab the cable that's right here and attach it pretty quickly. This handle my brother got, the handle that I had before was the one that came with this Tilta lightweight shoulder rig. But my brother, he wanted to get a different one, so he got a bright tangerine handle instead. But yeah, it's pretty manageable. It's not like super heavy. It's good for like handheld stuff. And I have this piece right here at the top for an easy rig. So I'll show you that in a second. So I've got the easy rig on right now, and part of the reason that I actually have this monitor set up, well, there's a couple of reasons. The first reason is that by having the monitor extended and a little bit to my left, when I have an easy rig on, the monitor is pretty much right in the center of my line of sight. Instead of having like a monitor right here or having the monitor too close to me, I feel like this is like just the perfect distance to view it and be comfortable with framing up my shot. The other reason for the monitor setup is using this Tilta lightweight shoulder rig. And I can adjust this later. But now the monitor is like right in front of me. It's not like up in my face. It's pretty much like the perfect distance as well to comfortably get the shot that I need on a shoulder rig too. So that's the other reason for having the monitor like that. It's just a lot more modular. I can also bring this monitor back all the way if I have a teleprompter and move it completely out of the way. And so that's why I have the camera set up like that. Yeah, and then for the mic, I just use the 416 mic, tried and true. I use Anton Bauer and Indie Pro Tools 150 watt-hour batteries. This is pretty much the build. My FX6 has gone through a number of different changes, and at least with how I'm building it. And from the work that I've shot with it, I've never thought, you know, that I need RAW, like RAW was missing. All that footage was usually shot in XAVC-L or in XAVC-I, all in 4K. I normally never ever shoot in 1080p. I'll do deliverables in 1080p, but I'll usually always shoot in 4K. When I look at my FX3, when I look at my FX6, and I look at the specs of the FX5, on paper, the FX5 is clearly an upgrade in most regards to the FX3 and the FX6, especially the FX3. But in reality, when you're shooting with the FX3 and you're comparing it to the FX5, you know, the client they're not going to be able to tell which camera you were shooting on. That's not something that they're usually asking. You know, the most that they'll ask usually is, are you shooting on Sony? Or some other clients might want Canon or whatever. And so when I look at the FX5, it's like the specs are an upgrade, and then you look at the pricing, it's in between the FX3 and the FX6, and yet there are still some features that are missing from it that make it a complete upgrade to the FX6, and it still quality wise, I can't justify spending, you know, $2,000 more to essentially sell and replace my FX3 when the FX3 just records just fine and has good enough quality for a lot of work. I mean, a movie was shot with it. You see cameras that are 10 plus years old that can still shoot movies and commercials just fine. What it comes down to, obviously, is lighting, production design, story. Based on the features, it almost wants to be like an A-cam to my FX6, but it's still missing some things that you would want, at least for me, for an A-cam, which is mainly the variable ND, and then the customizable buttons, the form factor of the camera. There's just a couple things that it's missing that makes it an A-cam. So it's really like, should be a B-cam, but spec-wise, it's better than the FX6. It's better than the FX3, but not good enough for me to spend $2,000. I don't know, it's in a weird place. And so I think that if this was more of a situation where Sony was releasing like a FX6 Mark II or an FX7, or even a replacement to the FX9, where I could definitively say like, this camera is gonna be my new A-cam, the FX6 is gonna be my B-cam, and then the FX3 is gonna be my C-cam, I think that's a situation where I might consider, you know, upgrading and buying a new camera. So, I mean, I guess I'll just wait and see the next Sony Alpha rumor for the Sony's latest camera. Now, would I get the FX5? The answer is no. There aren't enough features to justify spending that much money, especially when I own both a FX6 and an FX3. At the end of the day, my clients will never notice a difference if I upgrade, nor will shooting be made any easier by having this camera. If you shoot top-of-the-line productions and have the money to have the best of the best, then I don't see why not. Otherwise, I think the FX6, along with the FX3, still has more than a couple years left in this industry. If you have any thoughts or questions about the topic, then please let me know down in the comments below. If you like the video, then give us the like button, and also hit that subscribe if you want to see more content in the future. As always, I'll see you on the next one.